Now let's go to exponential equations. Let's see that if I write a raised to power x equals a raised to power y, we will see that the bases are the same. That means we can equate the powers. That means x will be equal to y. If I also have a raised to power x equals b raised to power y, here we see that, no, if I also have a raised to power x equals b raised to power x, here we see that it is the powers that are the same. And what that simply means is that the bases, we can also equate the bases. That means a equals b. Here, where the bases are the same, it means x equals y. The powers are the same. Now let's take questions and see how that is used to solve equations. Now let's look at this exercise. Solve the following equations. Number 1, x raised to power 1 over 2 is equal to 2. Now here, whenever the power, here, now I want to find x. Whenever you have x raised to a particular power and you want to remove the power so that you can have x, what you do is raise both sides to a power that is reciprocal of this power. This power is 1 over 2, so its reciprocal will be 2 over 1. So I'm going to raise both sides to the power 2 over 1. So this simply means x raised to power 1 over 2 raised to power 2 over 1, or you can write 2 simply, and the right hand side will also be 2 raised to power 2 over 1, which is the same as 2 simply. And this simply means 2 here 1, 2 here 1. This simply means x raised to power 1 over 2 times 2 over 1. And the right hand side, so on the left hand side, I'm going to have x equals, and on the right hand side, 2 raised to power 2 over 1 is simply the same as 2 raised to power 2, which is 4. Now to the next, which is number 2, x raised to power 1 over 3, x raised to power 1 over 3 equals 3. The power here is 1 over 3. That means I'm raising both sides to the power 3 over 1, which simply means x raised to power 1 over 3 raised to power 3 over 1 is just 3, equals 3 raised to power 3. 3 here 1, 3 here 1. What I'm doing is 1 over 3 times 3. I'm multiplying the powers. And that means x is equal to 3 raised to power 3 is 27. We go to the next, which is number 3. A raised to power minus 1 is equal to 2. Of course, we know that a raised to power minus 1 is simply the same as 1 over a raised to power 1. And that's equal to 2. So, what this simply means is, when we do, what's the best way to do this? Okay, we can just say 1, 2a, if I do cross multiplication. A raised to power 1 is a. So that means a times 2, which is 2a is equal to 1. And what that means is a, if you divide through both sides by 2, a will be equal to 1 over 2. Now we go to number 4 quickly. Number 4, a raised to power minus 2 equals 9. This simply means a raised to power minus 2 is the same as 1 all over a square, and that's equal to 9. Now, if I do a cross multiplication, I'm going to have 9a squared equals 1, which simply means a squared, if you divide both sides by 9, a squared will be equal to 1 over 9. And that simply means a will be equal to the square root of 1 over 9. If you find the square roots of both sides, the square root of a squared is a, and the square root of 1 over 9 is 1 over 3. Square root of 1 is 1, square root of 9 is 3. Now, that means a is equal to 1 over 3. We go to number 5. 2x raised to power 3 is equal to 54. Here, first of all, we divide both sides by 2. And that means x raised to power 3 is equal to 27, which simply means now x raised to power 3, if I want to get only x, that will mean x raised to power 3 raised to power 1 over 3. The power is 3 over 1. Its reciprocal is 1 over 3. And that means, yes, so you raise both sides to the power 1 over 3 to get x. That will also be equal to 27 raised to power 1 over 3. What you do is raise both sides to a power that is reciprocal of the power of the unknown that you have on the left-hand side. The power of the unknown is 3. So the reciprocal of that 3 is 1 over 3. So you are raising both sides to the power 1 over 3. So that means x raised to power 3 raised to power 1 over 3 equals 27 raised to power 1 over 3. And this simply means 3 times 1 over 3 means 1. Yes, 3 here 1, 3 here 1. And that simply means x equals 27 raised to power 1 over 3 is the same as the cube of 27, the cube root of 27 raised to power 1, which is simply 3 raised to power 1, which is 3. And that means x equals 3. Now we go to number 6. What does that say? X raised to power minus 1 over 2 is equal to 5. X raised to power minus 1 over 2 equals 5. And this simply means 1 divided by x raised to power half. 1 divided by x raised to power 1 over 2. Or we can write it as the square root of x raised to power minus 1. Yes, equals 5. And what this simply means is 1 all over the square root of x. X raised to power half is the same as the square root of x. Or let me even just write it this way. This is a 5. Let me do cross multiplication here. And that simply means 5x raised to power half is equal to 1. 5x raised to power half equals 1. Which simply means if you divide both sides by 5, that means x raised to power half is equal to 1 over 5. Which simply means x is equal to the square, no? Now the power of x here is 1 over 2. So if I raise both sides to the reciprocal of that power, that means I'm raising both sides to the power 2. And that means 1 over 5 raised to power 2. Which simply means 2 here 1, 2 here 1. That simply means x is equal to, the square of 1 is 1, the square of 5 is 25. X is equal to 1 over 25. Now to the next one, which is number 7. N raised to power, number 7, n raised to power minus 2 over 3 equals 9. That simply means n raised to power minus 2 over 3 equals 9. That simply means 1 all over n raised to power 2 over 3 equals 9. If we cross multiply, what do we have? If we cross multiply, we have 9 n raised to power 2 over 3 is equal to 1. If we divide both sides by 9, that means n raised to power 2 over 3 is equal to 1 over 9. And what this simply means is, now the power is 2 raised to power 3. Sorry, the power is 2 over 3. That means we are going to raise both sides to the reciprocal of that power 2 over 3. And that simply means n raised to power 2 over 3 raised to power 3 over 2. The reciprocal of 2 over 3 is 3 over 2. So we are raising both sides to that power 3 over 2 equals 1 over 9 raised to power 3 over 2. And that simply means, let's write that well. And that simply means, let's see, that simply means 3 here 1, 3 here 1, 2 here 1, 2 here 1. And that means n equals That means n is equal to 1 over 9 raised to the power 3 over 2 simply means the square root of 1 over 9 raised to the power 3. The square root of 1 over 9 raised to the power 3. And that simply means the square root of 1 is 1, the square root of 9 is 3. And that means the square root of 1 over 9 is going to be 1 over 3. And the cube of that will be 1 over 3 raised to the power 3 this way. And now this simply means n is equal to the cube of 1 is 1 and the cube of 3 is 27. Now we go to number 8. What does that say? 2r raised to power 2r raised to power minus 3 is equal to minus 16. This is the same as, okay, first of all, let's even divide both sides by 2. And then we have r raised to power minus 3 is equal to minus 8. R raised to power minus 3 equals minus 8. Now this simply means 1 over r raised to power 3 is equal to minus 8. If I do cross multiplication, then I'm going to have minus 8r raised to power 3 equals 1. And that simply means r raised to power 3 equals 1 over minus 8, which is the same as minus 1 over 8. If I divide both sides by minus 8, 1 over minus 8 is the same as minus 1 over 8. Now, where do we go from there? Now, that means r raised to power 3, I'm raising both sides to a power that is the reciprocal of this 3. So r raised to power 3 raised to power 1 over 3 will be equal to minus 1 over 8 raised to power 1 over minus 1 over 8 raised to power 1 over 3. And this simply means 3 here 1, 3 here 1. That means r equals, the right hand side means the cube root of minus 1 over 8 and the whole of that raised to power 1, which simply means the cube root of minus 1 is minus 1, the cube root of 8 is 2, and the whole of that raised to power 1 is simply the same as minus 1 over 2. So r equals minus 1 over 2. Now to the next, which is number 9. What does that say? Number 9. 5x is equal to 40x raised to power minus half. 40x raised to power minus 1 over 2. 40x raised to power minus 1 over 2. 40x raised to power minus 1 over 2. First of all, we divide through by 5. We can divide through by 5, and then we have x equals 8x raised to power minus 1 over 2. And that simply means, now where do we go? Okay, let me now, what do we do here? Oh, now I can divide through by x. I can divide both sides by x. So on the left hand side, I'm going to have 1, and on the right hand side, I'm going to have 8. X raised to power minus half divided by x means x raised to power minus half divided by x raised to power 1, because x is simply the same as x raised to power 1, and that means x raised to power minus half minus 1. So, which is going to mean 1 equals 8x raised to power minus half minus 1 is minus 3 over 2. 8x raised to power minus 3 over 2. And now, if we divide through by, no, okay, let me write that as 1 equals 8 times 1 over x raised to power 3 over 2. Yes, x raised to power 3 over 2, and that means 1 equals 8 over x raised to power 3 over 2. Now we can do cross multiplication. X raised to power 3 over 2 times 1 will mean x raised to power 3 over 2, and on the right hand side we'll have 8. And this simply means, now that we want to find x, we'll raise both sides to a power that's the reciprocal of this 3 over 2, which is 2 over 3. So raise both sides to the power 2 over 3. That will be equal to 8 raised to the power 2 over 3. And that simply means 2 here 1, 2 here 1, 3 here 1, 3 here 1. And that means x equals 8 raised to the power 2 over 3 simply means the cube root of 8 raised to the power 2, which means 2 raised to the power 2. And that therefore means x equals 4. Now to the next one, which is number 10. Number 10, 5 raised to the power x is equal to 25. 5 raised to the power x equals 25. We can write this as 5 raised to the power x equals 25 is 5 raised to the power 2. 5 raised to the power 2. Now that the bases are the same, we can equate the powers. And that simply means x equals 2. So number 11, what's number 11? 9 raised to the power x. 9 raised to the power x equals 27. And that simply means I can write 9 as a power of 3 and 27 as a power of 3 too. And that simply means 3 raised to the power 2 raised to the power x equals 3 raised to the power 3. 27 as a power of 3 is 3 raised to the power 3. And this is the same as saying 3 raised to the power 2x equals 3 raised to the power 3. We can see now that the bases are the same, which means we can equate the powers. And that therefore means 2x equals 3, which means x equals 3 over 2. And if you like, you can write it as 1 over 2. And now to the next one. The next one is 4 raised to the power, that's number 12. 4 raised to the power 4 raised to the power c minus 1 equals 64. I can write 64 as a power of 4, and that's what I'm going to do. That means 4 raised to the power c minus 1 equals 4 raised to the power 3, which means c minus 1 equals 3. The bases are the same, so we can equate the powers. That means c minus 1 equals 3, which means c equals 3 plus 1, and that means c equals 4. And that is it very, very simply. That's it very, very simply.